Brent Porcio, TopVelocity.net. Pitching analysis here at Jake. We're going to pair him up with Cody Hall. Jake's been making some really good progress in the program. Coming out of leg lift, you can see both doing good, getting good momentum going. I would say difference between here and Cody with Jake would be knee is more over heel, knee is more over toe here with Jake. So Cody's more hinging in his posterior chain. Similar though on front leg position. At this point, looks like Jake's a little bit earlier in on cocking. So let's go into when the front foot opens right here, about right here. We can see Cody at this point is actually into a little bit more drive. He's driving at that point. Now you can see Jake's a little bit later into drive. So at the same time too, upper body is almost as closed. We can see Cody here more flexed with his elbow, which keeps his front shoulder more closed, and almost similar here, but Cody's a little bit later in arm cocking, so some similarities there. You can see more internal rotation in this leg. So that was just that point where Jake right here is a little late to drive. So front leg is getting out, potentially would pull back leg off a little bit more, and you could see Cody's landing a more still closed, more open here with Jake. Jake's foot is more through, but that could be because this swung more open. This was pulled more around. So sitting in that hip longer would be something Jake needs to improve on, and getting this drive a little bit more explosive to where at this point here, just like Cody, when he gets to that same point, you can see there's actually more shin down. You know, there's a little bit more adduction at this point. Actually, it's pretty close. It just looks like this femur is more internally rotated at that point. And then you can see that foot is pretty much just opening and going down while this is finishing drive. You can see Jake is still swinging lift leg open at that point, which tells me less power here, so there was more swing to help create rotation at that point, hip rotation. So I think it's just coming down. Cody's got a little more power coming to that back leg. 2-hit front foot strike. You can see Jake's glove side did pull him open. Cody's is still staying closed. Therefore, he's getting a lot more horizontal adduction, a lot more hip to shoulder separation. So I just think it comes down, Jake doesn't have the power of Cody at this point, and this front side looks like, just like with this lift, or the front leg to the glove side, is swinging, flying open to help drive rotation. We don't want any of that. We want, like Cody, this is just pretty much closed off like a door, and we're slamming and driving everything into that closed door position. Okay. So hip to shoulder separation, a big difference. When Cody's hips come around, you can see much later Cody's arm abducts and chest opens. Jake's more quickly to get open. Okay. And then we can see here Cody is, as far as trunk position, Cody's more forward trunk at that point because he has more energy transferring into the trunk, and then more energy going forward for Cody here. Even though Cody doesn't get front leg extension, you can see he's in more hip abduction. So you definitely see more hip abduction here, hip position to hip position. Or maybe, hip abduction or the hip tilt is probably the same. So if this was the axis, there's the hip tilt. That's probably the same. But as far as like, here's the knee to the hip, here's the knee to the hip, Cody's got more adduction in that hip to help transfer trunk going forward. So for Jake, it's just really, I think, still a big power issue, sitting more in posterior chain, not letting glove side extend and fly open with lift leg to create rotation in the front foot, try to stay passive with that front side, and just get the back side to drive everything through. That would be the key.